Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
All right, Jonah is our representative of Sasson tonight. He's going to help lead us in one more song. Please join us and help us. The song is Adama Shamayim. And it starts with Heya, 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 Ho.
Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Adama, Vishamayim, Hom ha'etz, Slil ha'mayim, Argi margi, Zope gufi, Berushim benishmati. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Love the earth, love the earth,
The sky,
love the sky.
the fire,
Heat of fire,
drop of water,
drop of water. I can feel it in my body, in my spirit, in my soul. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho. Heya, 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 ho.
Shabbat Shalom. As Rabbi Yochanan taught in the Jerusalem Talmud, each of the 40 days Moses was on Mount Sinai, God taught him the entire Torah. Each night Moses forgot what he had learned, meaning that God never dismissed Moses. Some of us have recurring dreams like that, I think, but there is a message for us that the Talmud offers. Instead, God assured Moses would have a place in history with whatever challenges he might face, and creating an inclusive community open in all ways, physically and spiritually, to all, is a significant way of emulating God's holiness. We repeat that moment in all of our moments here. So this Shabbat, and each Shabbat evening this month, we look so very forward to working with you as we strive to make our Kehillah, our temple, our congregation, truly inclusive and holy, speaking truth to the words of Isaiah, who said, "For my house shall be a house of prayer for all people." And we do that best as we come to know each other. We know ourselves, we know our ways, we know our approaches. We grow as we grow in our faith, and we learn the ways in which we deepen our faith, we deepen our understanding, and we deepen our relationship with God. But we do that best when we get to know each other and know each other's needs carefully and lovingly and respectfully. So at this time, I invite you please to turn to someone behind you, beside you, in front of you. Introduce yourself and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. as we prepare to come to know each other better, get to know Shabbat on a deeper level. For those who are joining us for the first time, we welcome you. We want to give you a word about our prayer book. You'll see for the most part it opens in facing pages and is, for the most part, can be found in a quadrant. We will be praying from a top or a bottom quadrant on either side, typically, where you will find either the Hebrew or the transliteration or the translation or some version of that same passage that we're praying, wherever you can access our prayer and however you can do that best and most easily and most meaningfully, we invite you to do so. Sometimes a heya heya is the best way for us to access our prayers as well. Our service begins as we head to kindling the Shabbat lights. We do that as we turn to page 121, page 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue as we turn to page 123 and we rise for Kiddush. As we sanctify the day, we sanctify Shabbat. Page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri v'gafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'rotzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinkilanu, zikaron le'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah le'mikra'e kodesh, zecher le'tzion Mitzrayim, ki banu v'arta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava u'b'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
Please be seated. We'll continue praying responsively on page 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. Page 129 as we continue with the singing of Ki Eshmara Shabbat. So we have learned that in the beginning of creation, every day of the week except Shabbat had a partner. Day 1 and day 4 are linked in the formation of light and the creation of the luminaries. Days 2 and 5 are linked in the formation of water and their being gathered into seas. Days 3 and 6 are linked in the creation of earth and its vegetation, and only the 7th day was without a partner. God then promised the Shabbat that the Jewish people would be its partner. Therefore, the Jewish people go out to greet the Sabbath, to greet Shabbat, just as a groom greets his bride. We invite you please to join us on page 138 as we continue with the singing of Lecha Dodi, page 138. Please be seated. If you're still dancing in your seats, that's good too. That's how we best greet the Sabbath bride, not just by going out into the fields as we understood our ancestors did to greet the bride, but to dance in joy as you are greeting her. And that is really the essence of Shabbat. Double the delight is how we are commanded. Page 145, the bottom of the page as we continue. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמך ועמד יברא חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי כל היום אחד ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובשמחה אתה בשירתה,
ושפחתה ונאמתה,
תמירן בעלמה, וימרו.
We invite you please to rise for the Baruch for our call to worship. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'devaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poteach she'arim, u'vituna mishane itim, machalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim b'mishmaroteim, barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, Umavdil ben yom uven laila Adonai tsevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv arabim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a true token of your mighty love?
Then this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohei Bamo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Shem kevod malchuto, leolam va'ed. Shem kevod malchuto, leolam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And please be seated.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר הנביא מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו מתוקפות בינינו. מזוזו ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. V'nemar kifada Adonai et Yaakov uga'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Merit olam
During the week, we are filled with the busyness of what needs to get done, what calls our attention, what deadlines we have to meet, what obligations we have, what tasks we need to fulfill. And they are filled with what we call our bakashot, our requests, the things that are needing something. Either us, we are needing, or something is needed from us. And so we are consumed each week by that busyness. On Shabbat, we focus on our hodaot, on our thanks, coming from the word todah. And so now as we turn to the tefillah on page 164, as we rise, I invite you please to take a moment and to think about at the end of this week those things, those moments for which you are thankful, and then to please rise. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh v'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha sela Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. And please be seated. Page 173, the top of the page as we continue together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch Ata Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahava tekabel. Utehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'arod. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lahodot. Each of us take a moment, we pause, we meditate, we reflect in silence.
Yifrach, Tzaddik Adama Yifrach, Tzaddik Adama Yifrach, Tzaddik Adama Yifrach. Eretz Malakon Yizkeh, 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 Eretz Malakon Yizkeh. Tzaddik Adama Yifrach, Tzaddik Adama Yifrach.
Join us, please, as we continue on page 371, and we turn our thoughts and our prayers to those in our community who are struggling, who, for weakness of body or weakness of spirit, could use our prayers. And we say, Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et Acholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and give strength to those who are ill. This evening we are holding in prayer James Boyle, Zachary Couch, Lori Conway, Barbara DeCario, Thomas DiMatteo, Bacha Leah Bat Etel, Mark Friedman, Elizabeth Friedman, Yeshaya Idel Ben Gittel, Dennis Goldsmith, Bonnie Hughes, Bobby Johnson, Ira Coleman, Abby Kohat, George Okrent, Moshe Sa'at, Karen Jacobson, Marty Jacobson, Dorothy Jacobson, Shana Esther Bat Ruchel, Me'era Ruth Bat Avraham Vasara, Beth Shackman, Moshe Ben Leah, Florence Sporn, and Morty Weiner. If there are others who should be added to our prayers for healing, for strength, for wholeness, for the courage to endure what is in front of them, please, as I look your way, would you share that name aloud with us? May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health, to be restored, and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them renewal of body and of spirit. And let us join together in saying, Amen. So as you know, this month, we are joining, Temple Sinai is joining with congregations all across the country, recognizing our mission to be truly inclusive of all people, of all abilities. Our members, their families, and other Jews in the community are impacted by disability in ways that often limit full participation in our congregational life. And this evening, and each Shabbat evening this month, we will focus and learn more and become better aware of the needs within our community, the smallest parts of our community and the broadest parts of our community, to make sure that we are truly, as Isaiah meant, a house of prayer for all people. It is my honor to, at first, ask all those who have been a part of putting together this month to please, if you would, just stand for a quick moment so we can smile and send our love all your way for what you are bringing this month. So if you could just stand, if you are on the committee who is a part of constructing this month and this year and this congregation to be better versed in the needs of all of our members. We thank you. We thank you. And Lauren Lieberman, before you sit down, we ask you please to join us and introduce the guests who are going to be speaking with us this evening, Lindsay Ball and Martha Ruther. Please, would you join us?
Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. First, I just want to thank our committee. We have just an amazing group of people with our committee. And I also want to thank my graduate students, Rachel, Matt, and Jasmine, who have spent the last 2 days with me and are going to be here after services to help increase understanding about people with visual impairments. I also want to thank Kirsten Smith from the Rochester Association for Blind Athletes for being here, so you can meet her and learn about the Beep baseball team and about all the great things they're doing, and our friend Joy that came with her friends tonight to just increase some awareness. But I just wanted to thank everybody for coming, and I also want to recognize that our committee has these blue pins or buttons. They say, I can help, and it's brand new. Tonight's our first night, and so if you can't see, there are people here that would like to help you, and they'll come up and say, can I help you? Don't be offended. You can say yes or no, and that's just a choice of yours. And so I'm really thrilled tonight to bring two of my good friends and some. I know people say they don't want to be inspiring, but you'll know they are inspiring people. But like for each of us have one night that we're responsible for. And I was thinking, what do I want to get out of tonight? What do we want to share with you? And the first thing I want to share is the way that we treat people with disabilities. They're people first. We have to treat them with dignity and respect. And Martha and Lindsay are going to be here and explain a little bit about what they prefer and how they want to be treated. But I also want to share how we can have high expectations for all people, especially people with disabilities. And so some of the stations that we have in the back after services are about how do people who are visually impaired run, how do you sighted guide somebody. We have Braille books, we have all kinds of balls with bells in them, balls with beeping balls. So just so you can see the possibilities. We don't want you to see limitations, we want you to see possibilities. And that's kind of what we have back there. We also have We are from, obviously, Camp Abilities is a sports camp that we run together, and and so there is some information about Camp Abilities at some of the tables. So it just increase some awareness. Obviously, there's so much more about visual impairment that you need to know, but we're just scratching the surface tonight. And if you want to know more, you can ask us and maybe get even more involved if you'd like. But without any further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Lindsay Ball and Martha Ruther, our very own Paralympians here.
So I'm Lindsay Ball. I'm also kind of one of Lauren's students. I'm in the adapted PE program at Brockport. Okay. I hate microphones, I'm sorry. So just a little bit brief history about myself. I was on the 2014 Paralympic Alpine skiing team. So I went to Sochi. I was a ski racer. I've kind of switched my sport a little bit, and I've come to long distance running. I'm running the Boston Marathon in April. It's exciting. It's going to be fun. So that's kind of just who I am, and I'm in school right now to give back and to build some awareness and to be there for other blind and visually impaired kids to get them active, because it's a really important part of my life. And I was always excused from PE, and that's just not okay. So kind of one thing to just go off is I think it's really important to give the same opportunity to a blind or visually impaired person that you would give to anybody else, because with a few minor changes, anything can be adapted. And then my other word of advice, I guess, would just be to keep an open mind and don't think differently of them just because they are visually impaired. We're all the same, we're all people. I have a quick little funny story to tell you about my way here. So I had to go to Martha's house to meet Martha so we could get here. And one of my friends was at my house, and we all have our own parking spots at my apartment. Some of them are better than others, but we all have them under a little carport. And everybody else in my building that has a car gets apparently really mad about those parking spots. And since I pay to live there, I have my own parking spot. And so I was like, to my friend, I was like, you can park in any one of these, it's fine. They're not actually labeled. When I moved in, they never told me which one was mine. So every car's in a different spot, it's fine. When we came out to leave, he was blocked in. No way to get out. And there was a note on the car that said, don't park where people pay, come knock on door 106 and I'll move my car. So he walked in, and the guy was obviously really mad, and he was like, well, my friend told me I could park here, she lives upstairs, she pays to live here too, whatever. And they're like, well, really, who lives upstairs? And he had to say the visually impaired girl lives upstairs, or I don't know what he said, but anyway, the guy from 106, he immediately went to apologizing and saying he was sorry, and kind of gave me the pity card, and realized that he was in the wrong. And so that's all my friend had to say, was that it was the person who has a visual impairment, and his whole attitude and demeanor changed. And for me, I think I was more mad about the change of demeanor than I was about the fact that he blocked us in. Because I'm just the same as everybody else, and moving your car one spot over isn't really a big deal. So just don't change who you are and how you interact with a person with a disability, because we want to be treated just like everybody else. So those are my words of wisdom for tonight.
Hi, my name is Martha, and thank you for having me, by the way. So a little bit of brief history about me. I attended the Rio 2016 games, the summer games for swimming. So we're kind of polar opposites here. Water, and so I'm still training for Tokyo 2020 at the moment, so I'm still kind of an active athlete. And I think throughout my journey, I have had a lot of coaches that haven't been excessively inclusive. They kind of put me in a lane and were like, go ahead, you can swim. Yeah, at least you're here, so go ahead. And I think that that's kind of something that I've learned growing up, is that you should treat everybody the same. Just as Lindsay had mentioned, all I wanted was a coach to teach me and a coach to help me improve, just like everybody else in the lane and just like everybody else in the practice. And so I think it's a really important aspect of kind of the way that you treat people, because you wouldn't treat another fully sighted person the way that sometimes people treat visually impaired people. And so a story from when I was younger, this is kind of my mom. When I was born premature, so I was really small and was in the hospital a lot and in and out of hospitals for a while. So she was kind of nervous about me doing a lot of things. And we went to a doctor, and my sister, who was 5 years older than me, was running around and playing on the ground and stuff, and I wanted to, and my mom wouldn't let me. So the doctor came in and saw that I was struggling in her arms to get down, and he was like, what are you doing? And she said, well, she can't do that. And he's like, no, you have 2 daughters. Doesn't matter if one has vision and one doesn't. You have to treat them the same. You can't grow up with one of them in a bubble and the other gets to run around and break her leg. So I think that was a pretty monumental moment, at least for my family, that I'm the same as my sister and the same as any other kid, just trying to be included. And you want to participate in gym class. All your friends are running around playing kickball, and you want to play kickball. I didn't like kickball, but so it's a thing where you really do want to be included, and you strive for that normalcy of what everybody else gets to do. So I think it's a really important thing to just basically treat visually impaired people or blind people the same way you would treat anybody else, because I think it's just makes them feel human, and at least for me anyway, makes me feel far less awkward and uncomfortable. So thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you, Martha. And we wish Martha luck with the 2020 Paralympics, and we wish Lindsay luck with her Boston Marathon this April, so keep them in your mind. And I know we're saying we don't want to treat people with disabilities any differently, but we have to think ahead here, and we're going to be having these tables in the back right after dinner. So I am going to ask everybody with the I Can Help buttons, if everybody could just, after services, just everybody kind of wait till our group gets out so we can have dinner first, so we can be at the tables when you're done, and so that we can have our afternoon or evening activities, so that we're not behind and then we won't have our tables ready. So just to be a little proactive, if everybody just doesn't mind, let this group that's sitting here go and eat first, just so that we can make sure that we're ready for everybody after dinner. But we look forward to answering people's questions, raising more awareness, and interacting with everybody after dinner. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We thank you for speaking with us and for teaching us more, and look forward to meeting you and greeting you at dinner, and all the students who are here who work with Lauren. We're glad that you could be here, and you will see they are not inconspicuous. They're all wearing their Campabilities shirts. So please be sure, if you haven't had an opportunity to talk to Lauren about Campabilities and the work that she does, and to greet our guests, to learn more, please be sure when you join us for dinner after services to take some time and to get to know our new friends as well. If February is a birthday month for you, would you please join us on the Bima? If you are born in February, please join us. Just turn. Wait. Good. Good. Every single birthday said, I want to hide behind somebody else. I don't want to stand right here, every single person. But we want you here with us, and we want you in your community, and we want you here to know how very pleased we are that this is your month, that this is our month to celebrate you as well. And so we offer you this blessing. Author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with special gratitude to share in the happiness of all of you who are celebrating a birthday in the month of February. We ask that you are with them now and always, that you are blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome any hardship which may come your way. As we honor you for the gifts you bring to this sacred community, we celebrate reaching this moment and the continued unfolding of your lives. We pray that each day brings you an abundance of peace and blessing, and all of us who aren't born in February, join together in saying, Amen. And we offer you God's blessing. May God bless you and may God keep you. May God's face be turned to you, and may God be tender and gracious with you. May God's countenance always be with you. May God shine on you and within you, and may you be blessed with the fullness of peace, as we all together join in saying, Amen. Happy birthday, and don't go anywhere, February birthdays. If you are under the age of 13, however you understand that, if you are under the age of 13, please join us on the Bima. We are so happy that we have our birthdays, that we have the youngest friends in our congregation joining us at this moment. And we are so thankful for what you birthdays are becoming, what you not yet bar and bat mitzvah students are becoming and will become, what you offer to our community, who you are and how you are. And we are over the moon happy, as we say in our house, over the moon happy to offer this prayer of thanksgiving to you and to all who are gathered tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. We thank you, God, for allowing us to reach this sacred season. And please, as you carefully make your way back to your seats, we're going to invite you to head back to your seats, but not yet to sit. And we're going to invite the congregation, please, to join us as we rise for our concluding prayers. We turn to page 586. Page 586. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat, this evening, marks a yahrzeit, an anniversary of passing for Bella Alpert, Harriet August, Shirley Berger, Max Burns, Vivian Bolio, Eston Cohen, Mark Kahn, Henry Cook, Ed Dosher, Jerome Fain, Stephen Fishbane, Charles Flowers, Sandy Fogarty, Jacob Friedlander, Evelyn Frischman, Jack Frischman, Edward Goldberg, Wallace Griffith, Joan Hyman, Sadie Kaiser, Bernadine Guker, Hilda Lazier, Sarah Lewis, Marion Loeb, Willis Pierce, William Pine, Janice Richmond, Harvey Rosenblum, Berkeley Roth, Rose Rubel, Vincent Sangenario, Murray Schmutter, Jacob Schuster, Esther M. Schwartz, Raymond Schwartz, Nachum Shillman, Mirit Skirker, Joel Smetana, Charles Soloway, Adela Weissman, Carola Wachtel, Avis Waddell, and Sarah Zuckerman. This week we are also mourning the passing of Colleen Brickley, friend of Pauline Rutberg. if you have a name that you would add to either list or a name better spoken aloud by you, please, as I look your way, would you share that name with us? Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing as we join together on page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yamechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmeid kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'amir ran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mermav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to all who are mourning, as we join together in saying, Amen. Please be seated. We want to thank all who participated this evening. We want to especially thank our representative from Sasson. You did an incredible job. And we want to thank Mrs. Sherman for organizing and for participating as well. We want to thank all of you who are joining us this evening, who participated in making this evening as it is, and for deepening our learning. We thank you. We want to share some congregational announcements as well. Tomorrow morning we have Torah study at 9:15. We have Tot Shabbat at 9:30, and we have Shabbat morning services at 10:30. A reminder for those who are coming to Winterfest, it begins at 3 p.m., and you should have gotten an email with the directions and the information that you need. Sunday morning on February 3rd, Cantor Braun will be teaching adult education at 9:30. There's also adult Hebrew with rabbinic intern Katz. And the men's club Super Bowl party, not led by rabbinic intern Katz, I think, which begins at 5:30. We want to also remind you that next Friday night we have our Young Family Service featuring the kindergarten and first graders, followed by dinner, schmoozing, Shabbat, and our service at 8 o'clock, during which we will be focusing on mental health. If you are part of volunteering with RAIN, there's a training on February 5th at New Hope Free Methodist Church. For those in their 40s and 50s, if you haven't yet signed up for Jewish Pickling 101 with the Gefilte next Saturday night, the February 9th, you can sign up on our website as well. And if you have not yet had the opportunity to look at our website to join our delegation to the consultation on conscience, please, would you do that? Take some time and look at that, or speak with Liz during dinner as well to find out some more information. Any other joys? Anything else that we should know about from the congregation? Any celebrations? Any announcements? Liz?
This week, I don't know what your experience was, but I ran out into my garage about a minute without my gloves, and I was really uncomfortable, which made us think about the fact that the homeless, of course, we were aware of them with rain and wash up. This is a really tough time, and the homeless shelters are absolutely swamped. So we found out that they need additional hats and socks. Socks, gloves, those sorts of things. So there are containers at both doors. I mean, the real cold is over, but we live in Rochester. We'll come back. So if you're so inclined, it'd be wonderful if you could participate.
Right. So for those who couldn't hear at the back, we're so very lucky that most of us were able to go and to stay in homes that were warm during this. You said polar opposites before about swimming, right, about your respective sports, and I thought, don't say polar, right, because we have just come through, historic cold here, but for most of us we were able to endure, and let's keep our eyes on and our hearts directed toward those who don't have enough during this season. And what Liz was saying is that there are receptacles throughout the building for hats and gloves and socks and different things that you can contribute, for the next foreseeable future. Just bring what you can, and please, if you would deposit those in our bins. Any other announcements? Any other news at all that we should know? Okay, well, we will make motzi and then turn to our closing song, which is Hallelu, which can be found on page 643, but we will make motzi first. Motzi lechem min haaretz. And just before we greet you in the social hall, as we hope you will join us for dinner, we invite you please to rise for our closing benediction. We sing these words, and tonight we hear these words, Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Let us remember this Shabbat, this Sabbath, and always how good and how pleasant it is when all people live together as one. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Very nice.
Very good. Wonderful. Thursday. I see you. I saw you on those polls. I don't know. I'm glad I don't know.
Yeah, but very far to me. She wears it. I'm not no, but it's probably what 96. Anyway, all right. Lost you. I'll be back. Yeah, Timmy, it's me keep in touch. Yeah, sounds good. Make sure it's whatever she does. Yeah, sounds good. She's usually pretty funny. Probably more than me. More than me, that's bad. All right. Oh, okay. Because I'm just don't have to have on, so I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Say why. What kind of experience you want?
I'm always happy to see you too.
And the thing is that it's a home ritual.
thank you for that.
Has been my experience. That they're looking to understand the Last Supper. And the real thing is that.
Oh, nice to see you. Same here today. I'm sorry about your loss you had. Sorry about your loss of your brain. I had a yeah, I was going to oh, okay. No. It's not one Jubilee. Every time I'm
Yes, let's play. Yes.
whatever you want to do.
These are maybe 39 cents.
And as long as I get these
Nothing exciting.
Hi, Shabbos. I'll see you on Sunday.
Okay, good.
Email me.
Yeah, lots of ideas and
I'm just
and I got some good feedback. Rachel Rosnes is the director of Autism Up. She's all right. I'm a rock child. I've known her for like 25 years in the community, and she sent me today some nice little tips too. So I was all right.
Yeah, for you, so I find out if there's going to be leftovers for tomorrow.
When I was here earlier, Sue was making eggplant, pasta, and other wonderful vegetables. When he was gone for lunch, I was oh, yes, it does. I bet there's enough. Yeah, so scary. So scary. Always I feel like a stewardess for my life.
You're probably, you're like the hostess with the mostest. I'm sure you're just what the doctor ordered.
You know, wonderful. When I think I blood sugars.
I know. So, do you have any sense? I mean, and I did ask Carol Kate. She's obviously very gracious, but she's a little more. She said right now she doesn't know it's going to be
She's lost weight. He's lost weight. I'm just regretting the whole thing. So helpless. Nothing I can do.
It gets me angry, and I know that there's so much of life that we are totally not in control of. Just nothing. We're not. When it's suffering, when somebody's suffering, it gets me so angry.
I keep talking to her. We've got a lot of work to do here. And he's
And you're talking back to,
well, I hear. And when I start getting very sad, he said, enough already, cut it out. Never worry. You want me smart.
yeah,
Life suffers.
yeah, it's suffering. It's much to prevent us.